From years of being against the Catholic Church, because I guess that was the cool thing to do. I've kind of whittled down the arguments to this. The Catholic Church supposedly makes you feel like you are broken in order to lead you into its halls, to be the intermediary to assist you in being whole again. Now, it does this with some rituals, some words, perhaps a small wafer of biscuit and wine, or in my case, red cordial. I never had wine because I don't really drink all that often and I don't like wine. And this is enough to embolden huge swathes of the youth, emboldened again by allegations of child abuse and homophobia and bigotry and discrimination, all these things, everything like this. The youth of all the nations marched under that flag to destroy Rome. Well, Rome seems to have been destroyed, and I guess it's now that I'm going to try and bring it back to life, to combat the church that I was born into, the church that was made to seem cool, the church that's all about rockets and space and pharmaceuticals and the future and fairy tales. The Nazi church of NASA, of pharmaceuticals, of Pfizer, of psychiatry, issued in by Freudian philosophies, and his nephew, Edward Bernays, can't forget him, the PR and marketing wing of the Nazi religious party. Imagine if Play School was drugging children. That's what this conglomerate is. So while you've all been fighting a dying man in Rome, a devilish sorcery cult has been drugging and mutilating your children. It's been ages since Rome did anything like that. My guess is that late, or not late, somewhere in it, there was a coin toss where Rome decided to go with the cult, and that's why I had to kill the Pope. But he was powerless. He was a prisoner within that system. But on his death, and on the death of Rome, well, that's where he gets real chatty with me, as a lot of other people do. And he is now one of the most, not powerful's the wrong word, the most helpful allies I have in order to destroy this pseudo-scientific, religious, government, communist, destructive fucking empire of shit that I was born into and beaten by and tortured by. It stole my children, destroyed the relationship between me and their mother, continues to march forward with the confidence of fucking delusion. So in this state, at least, the fact that I'm saying this, I guess the last 9 years of my work trying to bring light to this fact is going to stand up against my mother's zero work to defend it. Zero actual work. She's done a whole lot of chaotic, disruptive tactics. Perhaps that worked in some distant land or under some veil installed over the eyes of everyone. But once we take a step back and wonder, why has he been doing all of that for so very long? Well, I'll take you back to the story. 9 years ago. 9 years ago, I had already been critical of my mother's treatment and her persuasion to initiate me into it. So I began talking. As soon as I began talking, my entire family circled around me and started beating me with every single tool that they could find. Not literally. That's the only thing they wouldn't do. But as someone who has been beaten to within an inch of my life, that is a far, far more humane way to deal with things than what was inflicted upon me by the very person that is supposed to care for me the most. The very people that are supposed to do that. Despite 3 years of constant pushback, constant documentation, constant analysis, constant historical precedent, historical framework to establish the field of battle I was unknowingly being overwhelmed in. This is the reason there's a separation between the church and the state. But the new church snuck through the back door. And while you've all been throwing digital stones at the Pope and the priesthood of the Catholic Church, thinking that they, of course, because everyone says they're the ones that are abusing children, this fucking government, pharmaceutical, pseudoscientific, fucking mass hypnotism bullshit fucking cult has been ushering millions and millions of children into their fucking dungeons and into their fucking surgeries and into their pharmacies and into every fucking piece of their cardinal infrastructure that has been installed for the last 50 years. I couldn't think of a better way to describe Satan's fucking empire. The fact that, in my opinion, the Catholic Church kind of just jumped on in their dying state, thought that that might be the way. I can almost forgive that, because those men were very old, very jaded by their life experience, and very loyal to their church. Don't forget that Rome was a fucking hideously fucking gigantic fucking bloodthirsty empire. There's still a little bit of that lives on. So to jump on with this fucking pseudoscientific bullshit cult, I don't really blame them. But the last pope is dead. The last pope is dead. But Rome, and for every Australian young man or old man or whatever that's watched Gladiator more than once, there's a phrase in that everyone knows. I knew a man who had an idea of Rome. That idea of Rome was very different than the Rome that just died. That idea of Rome especially if squeezed through, emboldened and prepared by its non-violent and supposed to be non-violent religion of Christianity. Well, that is the only thing on earth that is strong enough to end this cult that is spread out by the same tactic over and over and over again. If you go look at the OxyContin, they've been doing the same thing for a long time. They've been doing the same thing since all those fucking Nazis got together in Germany and thought that they were knights and riding on whatever, and that they were the new religion, and that Jesus was an Aryan and everything like that, and they overthrew the fucking German church and did everything that they've done now, except that wasn't strong enough, so they created their own fucking church of bullshit. It's in every school. It's in every on every TV channel, it's on every YouTube channel, it's in every pharmacy, it's in every doctor's top drawer, handing out communion to the chemical fucking technocratic transhumanist fucking bullshit fucking cult. And what we're doing now that you're all exposed, is we're just going to watch. We're not going to attack, although, God damn it, I would like to. We're just going to watch. Every single one of our spears is out and ready. Every single scrap of Christendom is prepared and ready to watch as your false empire collapses. Because there's nothing there. It's the cult of the individual, it's the cult of materialism, it's the cult of chemical imbalance. The Nazi version of a demon. And the Nazi cure is constant servitude to their industry. Hand in hand now with the government that supposedly just got voted in. On what ground do you declare that you are leading this country? Albanese, Roger Cook. This country wasn't built on electricity, which seemed to fall down. Power being the main divisive issue argued about by the enslaved people of this religious state. But where do you go to from now? The problem is, the reason your confidence in ignoring me, that comes from your ideological framework that is false. Because you've said I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm pretty much exactly like every single fucking person that until fucking 150 years ago built the entire world that you've destroyed in short order. I'm not crazy. That's your cult thinking that. You're insulated by the bubble that you've created for yourselves. And that bubble just keeps getting smaller. And the people of the world, with their spears out, not thrusting them, just out. Most of them aren't even holding their shields up, it's just kind of sitting by them and just scratching their head, waiting for you all to realise that the game is up. We've been through this before. We went through this with Rome. I hardly doubt that this NASA fucking pharma PR and marketing cult is anything to match the glory of Rome or the glory of the British Empire, who also found that their building was infested with this same cult. So, what's your move? What happens now in the great mythology of pharma? What happens? What's the next step? I'll get the popcorn ready.